Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the Burt and Burger podcast. With me, as always, is my cousin Burt, and we are actually here with a lovely guest, Mr. SpruceGooseTV. How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, and I am honored to be here on the Burt and Burger podcast.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Well, this is the first guy to ever say that. Usually we got to offer a little money or something for guests to come. No, I'm kidding. No, glad to have you on. So, Spruce Goose is a big Madden enthusiast. All of you guys have heard us talk about Madden in the past and how much it literally grinds our gears and pisses us off and all sorts of shit. And this guy's a lot better at it than we are. So we definitely wanted to have him come on, and hopefully he can either roast Madden with us or tell us how fucking shitty the game is or how shitty we are at the game, I suppose. So
better's not the right word. It's more about mastering the shittiness of the game. Understanding the shittiness and then mastering it.
Absolutely. Sure. So that's what we want to hear, man. That's what we want to hear. We don't want to hear how stupid we are because we never make fun of anybody here on the Burt and Burger podcast. So before we get too far into it, guys, we're just trying to bring a little bit of the family element to the podcast world. Burger. Yeah, Burger. Yeah. Where can they find this? Well, thanks for asking me, Burger. I'm going to hand this one over to my cousin Burt, though.
Yeah, no, we have full episodes up on YouTube and Spotify, as well as highlight clips on Twitter and TikTok, with some other fun highlight clips throughout the week, as well as our comedy videos, of course, on TikTok.
Yeah. Actually, we actually have somebody on the podcast today that makes quality content for TikTok rather than the stupid autistic shit we fucking throw up there for views. So hopefully we can suck some knowledge off him. So Spruce Goose, Goosey Boy, whatever we'll call you today. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, about just the goose, I guess. What's going on, man?
Let's see. I'm 28 years old. And I'm an aircraft systems engineer for Delta Airlines.
Holy shit!
And yeah, it sounds more impressive than it actually is. but I don't tell that to most people.
Okay.
So when I want to be impressive, I just leave the title. Let them be awestruck.
Sure.
But a year ago, COVID hit, and it definitely impacted the airline industry a lot. We had to ground most of our fleet, and the company was losing millions of dollars every day. And they were encouraging employees to take unpaid leave of absences. And so I said, hell yeah, I cannot work for a month. So last May 2020, I took a month leave of absence and needed to figure out something to do in that time.
Sure.
And I always played Madden. Well, I say always. I actually took a 10-year break, and then when Madden 19 came to PC, I returned to Madden.
Sure.
So last year, I was playing Madden 20, and I matched up with a guy. It was probably in late April. I matched up with a guy online, and he had TTV in his name.
Sounds like a Tinder date.
Yeah, right.
Matched up with a guy like a Burt Tinder date here. Matched up with a guy online.
Calls
himself T.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
So, and it wasn't just anyone. His name was Madden God. Madden King. Madden King.
So he must have been like 11 years old or some shit like that.
You would think. No, he was actually probably in his mid-20s, but TTV sure. Madden King. And I went, wait, this guy's streaming on Twitch. And so I was playing on PC at the time, not even on Xbox. I was playing on my PC, so on my other monitor, pull up Twitch TV, and sure enough, there he is streaming for two people. But there I am. That's the stream of him playing me, and it ended up being a close game. He ended up winning, but I did think I was better than him, and more importantly, I was like, this guy's calling himself Madden King and streaming it on Twitch. I was like, I could do this, and I have a full month of no work to do literally whatever I want. So why don't I start streaming on Twitch? And that's exactly what I did back in May 2020 during my month leave of absence. And
so then the goose took off.
And I guess that's how it took off. And it is grown into much more than I ever expected.
Yeah, this is within a year or so.
Yeah, so I think my first official stream was either May 14th or May 16th. I've got the replay saved somewhere. It was mid-May, so we're coming up on a year. In the first month of streaming, I'm streaming for like my one buddy or maybe my two buddies pull up the stream, but hardly anybody. It took me a long time to really get some momentum. The way I did it is I would play with the voice chat on, and in games I would chat people up and be nice to them rather than being a toxic asshole like a lot of the people we seem to match up with tend to be.
Yeah, like yours truly, for sure.
Which is nothing wrong with that. Everyone, you should play how you want to play, right?
But, Bert, I told you to be a toxic asshole. It's fine.
It can be a lot of... If you're winning, being a toxic asshole, I can't talk. I don't know why I stream. I can't talk.
Oh, wait till you fucking hear Bert talk. You have no idea.
But
the tip of the iceberg.
But when you're winning, being a toxic asshole can be a lot of fun, which is why people do it. I took a different approach. I tried to be nice to people, winning or losing, and if they were nice in return, maybe I would throw out, "Well, I am streaming on Twitch. Come stop by and say hi." And over time, instead of streaming for 2 people, it was 3 people and 4 people, and it got some momentum through the summer. And then I also started doing YouTube, and that's YouTube. I'm happy with where YouTube is at. Follower numbers are very different. Like I'm over 4,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And whereas on TikTok, it's like 67,000 followers.
Yeah, definitely noticed that.
But I make way more money from those 4,000 YouTube subscribers than those 67,000 TikTok followers.
Sure.
Okay.
Because there's the money in TikTok. I mean, it's almost no money either way. Let's be clear about that. We're talking like single-digit dollars per day.
Right.
But TikTok, if I don't have a huge TikTok, we're talking in less than $1 per day.
Okay.
So I'm really I care most about the growth on YouTube, because if this was to ever become a career, which I won't say it's the goal, but it'd be really cool if it got to that point.
Oh,
it'd be awesome. Yeah.
If that ever is to be a real thing that happens, YouTube has to be a very major component of it. You can't do it, or you can do it on Twitch, but not very many people can do it on Twitch. You need to be pulling a couple thousand subscribers on Twitch to really be able to comfortably support yourself.
Sure.
And that's subscribers, not followers. Because on Twitch, it's like what, $5 a month to subscribe.
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
And dude, I mean, this is like within less than a year you've accomplished all of this so far. Like, Bert and I've been doing this for a year and a half now, and our content, let's be honest, is not as wholesome as the goose here, but
of course.
But no, I mean, you've accomplished so fucking much in under a year. It's amazing. So,
I appreciate that. I do think there's a luck element involved.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the fact that we have more than 3 subscribers is 100% luck. But,
yeah.
But no, like, I this is just the beginning for the old goose here. I really think you're going to start kicking ass here soon. I mean, I had to beg Spruce Goose to come on our podcast over on his Twitch like a little fucking pussy, but for quite some time here. But you have like a really good audience. Like, they really interact in your chat there. Like, it sounds like you already have some pretty loyal fans.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that I really do think distinguishes my stream from a lot of the other Madden streams. I definitely won't say all the Madden streams, because there are some really awesome streamers with some really good interaction, but the vast majority of Madden streams I seem to pop into, it's more of a, I'm going to watch this person play the game, and the streamer, they'll respond to some things, but I really try to read every message, at least right now. I know that maybe one day that won't be realistic if the growth continues, but right now I really do try to read and respond to every message. And then between that, and then we've got a lot of things with channel points. If anyone listening is not familiar with channel points, it's a free currency that you accumulate just by watching the stream. So the longer you watch the stream, the more channel points you get, and you can use channel points to make me do push-ups, or you can make me hydrates, one of the the cheapest ones. One of my favorite things that I got integrated a couple months ago is different sound clips. Like like there's a Borat quote. You can use channel points to just make the Borat quote play on stream.
That's fun.
And there's things, a lot of them are related to the game. Like when I throw a really stupid pick, there's I don't know what it's called. Oh, I think it's the Curb Your Enthusiasm music. Just like you screwed up, and now we're gonna play the music. Sure. For everyone to
incorporated.
Just to like really confirm. Really hammer home what an idiot you are.
Yeah, it's like the fans that have like control of a soundboard or something like that.
Exactly.
That's
the perfect way to describe it.
That's really smart. Yeah, last night I was watching you stream. It was the game where you barely beat the guy by a field goal, like with 5 seconds left.
And I almost. It was like a very easily makeable field goal, and I did like 75% power for literally no reason.
Yeah.
And almost missed it.
Got nervous, probably. That's what I fucking do. I'm like wiping the sweat off my head. But I had my laptop like on my lap, and I was playing Apex Legends with my buddies in the background, just chatting away with you. And all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but somebody I don't know what they did. Like they gifted subs to the people there or something, but it just kept spamming the same sound effect over, and I had it over and over again, and I have an open mic on, and my friends probably can hear this really weird noise in the background, and I'm like, all right. This is dope.
I think I remember, it was you play to win the game.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Man.
Yep. He just kept saying that over and over again, and I'm like,
"Yep." That if they have enough channel points, they can do it. I don't put a cooldown on it, and so sometimes it gets really annoying, but it also makes for some pretty funny moments.
Yeah, no, that's really cool that you can do all those fun things in Twitch like that, and do all those cool things. But yeah, that was. I told you that's how we found you on Twitch, was literally just Twitched Madden, and thankfully you happened to be on when I searched it, and clicked on you, watched some stuff, seemed real cool, almost seemed too wholesome. Like I'm like, there's no way he's going on the fucking T-Rex Pecker podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know why people think I'm wholesome. I will say this. When I first started off, I was cursing like crazy because that's the way I naturally am. I naturally curse all the time. And so if you go back to some of my old streams, fuck was my most used word.
Sure.
I had one
we
of
don't
my
want you to
viewers
say that on our podcast, Goose, but
Yeah.
It was I had people say a couple times like, I like your stream, but you curse a lot. And at first I was like, well, fuck you, this is my stream, I'll do whatever I want. But then I was like, well, I'm not going to get rid of cursing at all. Like it's who I am, and especially in moments of emotion. I'm pretty sure I still say it all the time.
Preach it.
Especially in Madden.
Yeah. Seriously, especially in that fucking game.
Exactly. But when I thought about it, I was like, well, I don't necessarily need to use fuck as every adjective for everything I ever want to describe, Like, I could probably reduce my cursing without it really having a huge impact on me. Because at the end of the day, language is all about expressing ourselves, and words like fuck can express ourselves in ways that other words just can't get the same point across.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. It's an art. It's an art.
Exactly.
It really is.
But just in casual conversation, like right now, I don't need to be like, oh yeah, on fucking Twitch, I got the fucking sound effects integrated. So you can play,
Exactly.
you play to win the fucking game. Like I don't need to say it that much, but
You're
it feels like that's how
Bert
much
here, but that's
Yeah, a little bit.
but that's how I was talking.
Yeah.
9 months ago. And there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoyed talking like that. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
But I guess you could say it's you could call it a business decision. I guess just to try and have a little bit
reserved.
a little bit broader reach. I guess where if I was saying fuck every other word, there might be some people who would turn to another stream. But if I can just cut it down a little bit, it's probably a little more bearable for more people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What are your views on the F word, Bert?
Oh, I mean, I could see it not like immersion breaking because, I guess it's kind of along those lines, right? Like it kind of gets staggering after it happens too many times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I can definitely get behind that.
Well, and that's my big thing too. Is I'm right there with you, Goose, and I swear more than anybody you'll ever meet, probably. Like it's not good. And I grew up with it. My family swears like cocksucker all the time and everything. But even with that being said, I get annoyed when I hear it too much. Like a lot of times when I'm listening to music or TV shows where they're constantly swearing, or it just gets annoying. It's like people think they're like some badass or something, and look at me, I can say a naughty word, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna go watch porn now or something. But
exactly, like I definitely think growing up when you're not allowed to say curse words, it can kind of be like I can't wait to say curse words. Like that's a sign of being cool. That's a sign of being an adult. And then we started saying them, and at least for me, that carried all the way, at least until the age of 28, and it is kind of still going.
Sure,
I've reduced it a little bit, but
right.
You're absolutely right that if it gets to the point where you're noticing it, it's probably too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
literally when it becomes self-aware, totally understand. But yeah, like I said, was watching you, seemed like you were pretty wholesome, and then you're like, oh, you fucking bitch. I'm like, okay, I'm reaching out. That's all I need.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Where'd the name come from? The whole Spruce Goose. I looked up Spruce Goose on YouTube, and I think it just showed me like a bunch of like wartime planes. Yeah,
I found an airplane. Yeah, so the short answer is the Spruce Goose is the nickname of a famous airplane built by Howard
you're
Hughes.
like a airplane engineer, pilot, parachuter, something.
And I'm gonna go to the Wikipedia page. It's actually pretty interesting. It's officially the Hughes H-4 Hercules. It flew once. There was only one of them, and it's like literally one of the biggest planes ever built.
Okay.
It's incredible. Like it compares to like the size like a 747 or something.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That's pretty dope.
So that's pretty cool, but that's only, I didn't pick it because I'm an airplane enthusiast. The name originated really with just Goose being an inside joke with me and my friend group, and that started probably in like 2016. We were playing Rocket League, and we would always just dick around in Rocket League and just go absolutely ape shit. And we were playing a guy. His name was like Goose something. He was way better than us, just absolutely annihilating us. And it got to the point where when he would just like dunk on us. I think it was a party of 3 or 4 of us all playing, and one of my friends just said, "You just got goosed." And that just stuck for some reason because we kept saying it for the rest of the game because the guy was ridiculous. So we kept saying, "You got goosed, you got goosed." And we kept saying it the rest of our Rocket League session, even long after we were playing against that guy. And it just kind of stuck. And then from there, it kind of morphed into, if you were really good at something, it meant you were a goose.
Okay.
And so our username started to just incorporate goose. And so I needed to pick a good username with goose in it. And then I was also aware of the airplane nicknamed Spruce Goose, and I was like, well, I get the goose tie-in with the inside joke with my friends, and I get the aviation tie-in with got my aerospace engineering degree and my aircraft systems engineering job. And I like the name rhymes. I think it's a kind of cool name.
It's clean, yeah.
There's quite the history for it.
Yeah, so I kind of like it. I know it's definitely unique. A lot of people ask about it, like, where the hell does it come from? Because it is a kind of weird name. You know, most people, like, I just think of other streamers. It's oftentimes just their name. You know, other big streamers, there's like, a big Madden YouTuber named Throne. Throne is literally his last name.
Sure.
And, I think of streamers like Bobby V, K-Mac, Chaos. They're all plays on their actual name.
Very creative.
Mine is just completely unrelated to my name, which is interesting, but I like it.
Yeah. No, I stole like my friend's old like Instagram username for this podcast that he used when he was like 12.
Nice.
So
nice.
Went and checked out his Insta, saw that he changed it, and I'm like, all right, let's go, baby.
Here we go.
Nice.
A legend is born. So yeah, I was just wondering. I'm like, man, this guy must really like geese or some shit like that. So
honestly, I'm pretty sure geese are assholes.
Yeah, they're bitches now.
That's what I've
Ducks,
heard.
on the other hand, those things are bae, and that's literally my favorite animal in the whole wide world is a duck. I shouldn't say they're bae though. They're like very notorious for rape and shit. So, but
oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
they're I guess they're both assholes, but ducks are cute at least. So,
true.
But yeah, that was one of my biggest questions. Is wanted to see if he was like a geese enthusiast, like I was a duck one, and we could just go back and forth and have like a duck and geese off. And
I really don't know very much about geese at all, to be completely honest. Other than the videos of them just attacking people for no reason, and I think they hiss. And that's
horrifying.
And there's okay. The Canadian goose is the one with like the darker head and wings.
This dude's telling us he doesn't know anything about geese, and here he is just.
People come into my chat and start talking about geese. And so I've been educated, I guess.
Sure.
Secondhand.
I definitely didn't know this before, but so there's a goose and a Canadian goose, and a Canadian goose is darker. Okay, and that's everything I know about geese.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. I was waiting for you to just
awesome.
go.
That's it.
Get my notebook out, getting ready to write all these notes down, and
that's it.
They're darker. Gotcha.
Okay.
So I think we've done enough talk about geese, I guess. I don't fucking know in airplanes. Dude, Madden blows. Like, I fucking hate it. I hate it. So I'm not 28. I'm almost 25 though. So kind of similar age as you. Bert's like 15 or something.
22.
I don't remember.
Yeah, 15, 22, something.
Close enough.
So I've been playing Madden like since Madden 09, like pretty tight. I took like a break between what was it, like Madden 14, which was the 25th one, and like Madden 17. So took a few years off, not 10 years off, but took some off. And now I'm back into it big time. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Bert's just gotten into it recently. He's more of a PC gamer that plays like
not sport
Geometry
games
Dash
usually. True, yeah.
coolmathgames.com or whatever that's called.
Those are great.
And I don't know what to say that hasn't been said before. It just hurts my feelings, Goose, for what they do with that game every year. You know, it's
so
hard.
I had a really interesting experience coming back to Madden because I started with Madden 2003. Marshall Faulk was on the cover of that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I played 03. I actually skipped 04, the one with Michael Vick on the cover that everyone talks about these days. I didn't know at the time it was going to be an all-time classic, but
sure.
I was like 10. My parents were buying the games for me. I wasn't in a position to argue. But I played 2003 and then 05, 06, 07, skipped 08, played 09 on the Wii. Do not recommend it.
Dude, that's what I played it on too. That's what I started on. Was the fucking Wii, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
I mean, it was better than nothing. but boy, was it rough.
Yeah, they had Brett Favre on the cover, and he wasn't even in the fucking game.
I played that same one. You had to actually flick the remote to pass
to
the
throw
ball,
it.
and you had to hope that it registered a quick flick as a bullet pass and a slow flick as a lob pass.
Yeah,
and those remotes were not very precise.
No, and then the remotes would talk to you. You'd have receivers be like, "I'm open," or "Look out!"
God, I think I muted that stuff or something.
Horrible.
But you would get in these situations where you and another defender, you'd be running with the ball carrier, and you'd get like locked up and be like, wave the stick to break the tackle.
Oh,
and so you're sitting in the living room just waving frantically.
Just jerking
for,
off
like,
your Wii remote.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
It was not a good Madden experience, honestly.
No.
Sounds like Call of Duty on the Wii. What the heck?
Pretty much. Oh my
They
God.
integrated so many games with the Wii that just did not belong.
Oh yeah.
No.
But
So stupid.
So then after that, I took a 10-year break from Madden, and
Boy, it was pretty
I can
fucking
see why.
traumatizing. I didn't think the Wii version was that bad.
it was mainly just because I never got a new console. I stuck with first, didn't really game a whole lot for a couple years, and then I stuck to PC gaming. Built a couple PCs in college, and Madden was just not on PC. And I actually kept my PS2, and I would pop in my Madden 07 on PS2 from time to time. It was my favorite game ever. And I still enjoyed playing on there, but it never crossed my mind to try and buy a console because I had no money. I was making my parents, well, I wasn't making, my parents were happily paying for my out-of-state tuition.
Sure.
But I was in no position to be like, hey, want to buy me a gaming console while you're paying for my out-of-state tuition? Like, good luck selling that one to your parents.
Exactly.
Sure.
So finally, when Madden 19 came to PC, I bought it again, and I was initially just blown away by the graphics, but the gameplay was a little underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
It was just as buggy, if not more buggy, than Madden 07 on PS2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the difference, and it's taken me a while to really pinpoint what the issue is. Madden 07 obviously had issues. I mean, it was made in 2000. It's probably made in 2005 and released in 2006 because they always released. It came out 1 year before the number on the title, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
So there were plenty of issues, but I think the issues were there was more consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And I think consistency is the single biggest issue with the Maddens today, is that sometimes, I throw a corner route to my tight end and I pass it to the outside, and the first 7 times it'll hit him just fine, and on the 8th time he will stop running his route and let the ball sail over his head, and the defender catches it for a pick
Every time.
and you're just like, it's jarring because you're like, I know I can do this, like, and I know that this was the right read. I've done this successfully before, but now I'm just being punished. And it'd be one thing if they were trying to build in like inaccurate throws.
Yeah.
But you can actually see that, like, it is a bug with pass lead. You can see your receiver come back for no reason, come back towards the ball, and then let it fly over his head.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know exactly what you're talking about, man.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's awful. And also because we watch football, we know that that's not something that players do.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it even more frustrating, is that it's just so Madden looks realistic, like in terms of like
Visually,
it looks visually realistic, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then there's just these certain bugs with movement and animations that remind you that it's so far from reality, and it's just very jarring to see this.
Yeah, I've heard people say that it's literally ran by animations. It's not ran by user ability or anything like that. As soon as a certain animation is happening, there is very little you can do to stop it. Like when a blocked field goal is coming, you can just tell by the way that the defender comes off the line. It's like, yep, that's fucking blocked.
The kicker actually hesitates as well. The kicker waits for him to have enough time to come around the edge and block the kick. It's wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. And that was one of the questions that I had for you was, and I think you already answered it by the biggest thing, if you could change one thing in Madden, what would it be? And you were talking about the consistency. And that's like what I go for as well. It's like, I get there's going to be glitches, there's going to be bugs in this game, but in Madden, it happens every fucking game, like all the time.
I remember it's not the same glitch. It's different glitches every time.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't prepare
I remember, dude, and I don't know if you experienced this too, but the fucking receivers would run out of bounds all the goddamn time, all the time, and then you'd throw it to them, and then it'd be like illegal touching, and it's like, quit fucking running it. Like, that is not a thing that happens in football. Like, hardly ever. Like, I played many years of real football, and I don't think I've ever seen that called once. And Madden, this was like every fucking play. And you got people like the greats like Travis Kelce that are just running behind the fucking goalpost. It's like, what are you doing?
Oh, it's terrible. I had a route that I loved. That it was like you motion over like a stock crosser, and they basically would like run it to the sidelines. And as far as I could tell in practice mode, come to the sideline and stop and turn around, and then sometimes you get a good route bounce back to the middle of the field. And I didn't throw it very often in game, but then one time in a very crucial situation in Weekend League, I put that route on, I motioned it over. It route bounced into a wide open spot in the middle of the field, and I threw it for a huge first down. And sure enough, they throw the flag. And it turns out the dude ran 3 feet out of bounds before he stopped and turned around on the sideline. We're not only talking back of the end zone, just on the sideline. He ran straight in. He wasn't pushed into the sideline. He just on his own just ran 3 feet out of bounds. It's silly.
Yeah, no, it's super frustrating. And then like little drag routes that you have that are like 3 yards down the field, and you got people like Russell Wilson just, and this literally happened, just tosses it over him for a pick. Like, you can tell by the way that the defender behind the player is reacting that it's going to be a pick. Like, it's people bitch about it being scripted at times where they're not necessarily like nothing that you did. It's just kind of like Madden decided before you were going to hike the ball, like, hey, just so you know, this is going to be picked. So get ready for that.
So I have a quick question. I don't know if you guys have spent any time on my YouTube channel, but have you seen, I guess I'll ask, have you looked at my YouTube channel at all?
Yes. So
I have a series on there called Madden is Trash. And it's up to 7 parts. I haven't done one in a month because they're the worst performing videos on the channel.
Yep.
Probably because I guess just not everyone.
People already know it's trash,
relate.
Bro.
Yeah, people know it's trash. It's kind of like preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just needed to just to get it off my chest. Just to have the proof. If anyone ever was to question it, just to be able to go back and be like, oh, just watch this. Like, instead of me trying to explain it, just here you go. It's right here. But yeah, it's up to 7 parts, and I talk about zones don't work. Defensive backs can catch and receivers can't catch.
Oh yeah. Yep, we hear that a lot.
Oh my gosh. Next gen was, and we can talk about that. That's a whole other thing to talk about, is next gen Madden.
Sure.
But my 1 week of playing next gen Madden was the single worst Madden experience I've ever had. As bad as regular Madden is, next gen is 1,000 times worse.
Yeah, why is that? I the only thing I knew that they did with that is they did the next gen stats. And other than that, I'm like, I don't think that's really enough for me to go out and buy a fucking brand new Xbox.
So, I mean, the episode of Madden is Trash I did on next gen was specifically related to O-line blocking. It just straight up didn't work. But that's not why Next Gen Madden is so bad. They are trying to slow the game down. It plays fundamentally different. When you watch it, everything is slower. The players turn with the radius of semi trucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
say that.
Like, you know how you user on defense. A lot of people. I won't say everybody. Some people will control a D lineman, but a lot of people will user a linebacker or a defensive back in coverage, and you try to cover routes that come open. Usering is borderline impossible because the movement is so sluggish. The change of direction is so bad that usering is borderline dead on next gen. It's an absolutely disgusting gameplay experience. Now, when the game first came out, also, I joke about zones not working on current gen. Zones legitimately did not work. You could literally throw streaks straight at deep blues and burn them over the top with ease.
Yeah,
it was actually insane. It was actually insane. They did at least, they at least fixed those, but it doesn't change that the movement is garbage. And movement, I would argue, movement is possibly the single most important thing in Madden. If movement feels like ass, nothing about the game will feel good.
Yes, and for sure.
In Madden 21, for all its issues, I think they actually have the movement down really well. That's the one thing. I feel like the movement is really smooth. I feel like I have a lot of control, whether it's the ball carrier. And different ball carriers are going to handle differently. But, being able to stop and go, usering on defense, at least in MUT, using someone like Derwin James, I feel like I can fly around the field. I feel like I can turn really sharp. That actually feels really good and really responsive. That's the one thing that they did really well in Madden 21. And in Next Gen Madden, they take that away. So, it's insane. Like, if you go on Madden Twitch, I'm going to go on Madden Twitch right now. Nobody is playing Next Gen Madden. With the exception of one or two of some of the big content creators. So like I don't know if you know the actual CC is a YouTuber with over 100,000 YouTube subscribers. He plays on Next Gen. I'm gonna pull up his stream right now. He plays on Next Gen, and I think it's because this is gonna sound so like elitist, but the
just
kids
start roasting, dude. That's all we do here.
It's just the kids who don't know any better just assume that Next Gen is better.
Oh yeah, and Bert and I were one of those kids. Yeah,
yes, someone who does not play the game an obsessive amount, so a normal person will just assume Next Gen Madden is the best Madden.
Logically as well.
Why would they purposely go backwards?
Why would they make it bad?
Right, exactly. But if you go look at Twitch, with the exception of him, he's streaming right now, but with the exception of him, everyone's playing current gen Madden because Next Gen Madden sucks. There are even, I know fellow streamers who made the jump to Next Gen Madden being like, well, for content purposes, I have to go to Next Gen Madden because that'll pull more viewers. They have pretty much all came back to current gen Madden. They've said, I can't do this. Next Gen sucks. And current gen Madden gets plenty of viewership anyway. So why bother playing Next Gen?
Sure.
What's going to be interesting, there's a YouTuber named Eric Rayweather. He does a lot of Madden news and speculation.
Yep.
He brought up a very good point in one of his recent videos where Madden 22, there will still be two versions of Madden 22, a current gen version and a next gen version. What's going to be tough though is that in Madden 22, next gen will become the standard for all the pro tournaments and everything. Whereas this year it's on current gen. It's easy for a lot of the creators and pro players to play current gen this year because that's what the MCS is in. That's all the pro tournaments are on current gen. Next year, when the pro tournaments are on next gen, you could end up with a very split fan base. Assuming that next gen Madden 22 plays similarly to Madden 21, you have to decide: do I want to play Where does the competitive scene go? If I'm a good player, but I don't want to go pro, or I know I'm not good enough to go pro, do I play current gen Madden 22 or next gen Madden 22? Because current gen Madden 22 is going to play a lot better than next gen Madden 22. But at the same time, it's like next gen is going to be the standard. That's what all the pro players will be on.
And that's the stupid thing that we even have to have this fucking conversation. Like, why the hell does EA make it this complicated to where if it's next gen, if it's on the next gaming system, it should be fucking better. It should be good. Instead, I haven't played it yet, but now I got somebody telling me that it's literally worse than what it's at. And I didn't think it could get worse, if I'm going to be honest with you. Literally, it could be a bunch of fucking squares and circles out there chasing each other around, and it'd probably be better than what Madden's at right now. And now I'm getting this news, and I don't know why I keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. And it's just an abusive X or some shit like that.
I will say that if you ask EA, they will say next gen is better, because I guess it's how do you define better? And what EA is doing is they are hyping up all this RFID data they're getting. So the NFL players in real life have RFID data chips in their pads, and there's receivers all around the field, and they can triangulate the player's position at every point on the field, and that's how they calculate the next gen stats. They can calculate the player's speed and acceleration, all that fun stuff. Cool. They're trying to use that and put it into the game and call it, real player motion. And so they claim that the sluggish movement and shitty change of direction is coming directly from the data gathered from the RFID chips. And let's just assume for a moment that that's true. Whether it's true or not, who knows? But let's assume for a moment that that's true.
Okay.
I would argue that realistic does not equate to better. And my example is how many people play Call of Duty and how many people play Arma 3? Because Arma 3 is a realistic military shooter. There are no hit indicators to tell you whether you connect or kill an enemy. There are no teammate markers. You might be shooting at a guy and have no clue if it's your teammate or your enemy. When you reload a mag, if there's still ammo in that mag, it's gone. Because you replace the mag. It is as realistic as it gets. And guess what? It's not very fun. It's brutal.
Exactly.
Call of Duty is a mix of realism and arcadey.
Yeah.
And that mix equates to the most fun. And that's why people play video games, is to have fun.
Exactly.
And so I don't buy for 1 second that assuming the shitty movement on next gen, if that's real player movement, if that's realistic player movement, I don't want the realism.
I don't want that shit.
No,
I don't
please.
I want a game that's enjoyable to play, right?
Yeah.
I don't want this. Yeah. Well, it's not realistic player movement. I can tell you that. I'm in my mid-20s. I'm severely overweight. I haven't played real football in years. And in the summer, I still play flag football with my buddies. And Daddy's still got a few cuts left in him, Goose. It's still there. And I move faster than fucking Alvin Kamara does in this goddamn game. It's just absolutely
so
pathetic.
dumb.
The fact that I throw a screen pass to Saquon and he catches it and continues to run towards the sideline for like 3 yards while I'm pushing up on the analog stick. It just blows my mind. You get to a point when a receiver's so close to the sideline, you're like, can't throw it to him. Dumbasses are going to literally just run straight out of fucking bounds when he catches it. There's a 6-yard loss. That's fun. And things like that. So EA is trash. It's stupid. I don't like them, and I hope they listen to this and it hurts their feelings.
Exactly.
Oh, they don't care. They've heard it for years.
They lost their feelings a long time ago.
Well, they don't have any competition. They
make
no
so
reason.
much money.
They make so much money, and they have no competition. They have no reason to care about gameplay. There's one thing they care about. It's Madden Ultimate Team, or MUT. And they have done a great job putting out content for MUT this year. When I say content, I mean introducing new players to the game, essentially, and different promos and things like that, because that's what generates all the money.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't play MUT, you buy the game one time in August, and EA never gets another cent from you. But there's a lot of MUT players who literally put in hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars into MUT over the course of the year. And that is EA's target customer.
Yeah.
And so that's why they put all their time and energy into generating new MUT content. Without any competition, there's no reason for them to prioritize gameplay.
Sure. Yeah, no, this is just making me super fucking depressed, so
it's bleak. It's very bleak.
It's just it's not fun at all with that. Hopefully now that 2K has gotten some rights back to the NFL, some things can strike back into competition. The older Maddens used to be a lot of fun, and then all of a sudden they changed drastically, and just hoping that they can go back to it someday soon. So kind of staying on the same Madden topics, Goose, and talking about some other things. So your TikTok's actually pretty big, over 60,000 followers, and with that, I checked out some of your talks, and you have some challenges on there, and I see these all over TikTok, where I literally see, like, you did like a Christian McCaffrey challenge, where you were seeing like if the most recent CMC is as fast as the
like
old
some
one.
testing, right?
Yeah. So my question is, I've seen videos where people literally have like, let's see how many times it takes Phillip Rivers to return a punt. And my question is, how do you get to that in Madden? Do you just custom create a player, call him Phillip Rivers, copy the stats, or do you know how those fucking talks do that, or are they just cheating somehow?
I guess my first question, I guess there's a couple ways. Is you could probably just go into an edit roster and just change Phillip Rivers' position.
That would probably be
yeah,
easy.
that's probably what they did.
Just change it to a wide receiver or cornerback and put him back there. I actually haven't seen him do that. I have seen him be like, scramble with Phillip Rivers for a touchdown or something. Might as well be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But I've never done a challenge like that. Mainly because, to be honest, something like that, it's just got to be really fluky, where your entire line just pancake blocks like every single person on their team, basically.
Yeah.
But that would be a tough one. I'll give you that. That'd be a very tough challenge.
Yeah, I saw somebody do it with Von Miller too.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. No. So we need to find more content for our talk, and one of us out of the three has time on their hands, and it's not me or you, Goose. So
What?
Bert's gonna fucking go return with fucking Vincent Wilfork at punt returner.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. Make sure you tag Goose, and
see what I can do.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's like, I don't remember the last time I returned like a kick or a punt for a touchdown in Madden. I watch like the pros play, and they literally just get the kickoffs and like run 10 yards and then just fall to the ground. Is that because they're afraid to get hit stick and just
Yeah, so at least for me and a lot of players who play at the high level, I don't play at the high level, but I try to copy some of their techniques. Is they play on ball carrier conservative. So in your coaching adjustments, you can be on conservative, balanced, or aggressive.
Okay.
And so when you're on conservative, you can't use spins or jukes or stiff arms or trucks. So that kind of sucks. But it essentially makes it impossible to fumble.
Okay.
And when you're playing competitively, turnovers, are absolutely brutal. Like they can a single turnover can lose you a game, especially an Ultimate Team where you're playing only 4-minute quarters. I mean, if someone controls the clock, you might get one possession in an entire half. And so playing on conservative carry, and especially, I mean, spins and jukes don't really work as well as they used to. The only thing that's worth not being on conservative for is get Derrick Henry, and there's an ability in MUT called Bulldozer. And so you basically, if you truck with Derrick Henry, he can break a lot of tackles. But otherwise, now in regs, I'd say someone like Lamar can juke pretty well, but quarterbacks fumble a lot if you're not on conservative.
It's disgusting.
So the answer is most people play on conservative carry.
Okay.
On kickoffs, however, conservative carry does not apply. Even if you have it set in your coaching adjustments, conservative carry does not apply on kick returns because EA. Because EA.
Yeah, exactly. Piece of shit.
And so it's actually pretty common. If you can land a hit stick on a kickoff, it's not uncommon for them to fumble it, and it's very easy to pick that up and take it for 6. And that is why, and when you compare the odds of that with the odds of actually taking a kickback for a touchdown, which in Madden are basically 0, which is kind of fair. I mean, there's very few kick return touchdowns in real life as well. So I have no problem with it being extremely difficult. But just when you compare those odds, you do not want to get hit. And that's why I either just take the touchback or I take it out and I go down. The advantage of going out is you'll probably get less yards than a touchback, but you can get to a hash. And being on a hash is actually a much better strategic spot than being in the middle of the field because you have more sideline to work with on one side.
Gosh, it's like coming down to like a science, like fucking Clash Royale, Bert, where you gotta like drop it at this square to like bring this character over and all this shit. Of course,
the meta gets very technical.
Yeah, no, seriously, and that brings me to the next question that I had for you is, people say like, you can exploit the broken system to do better in it. And that's not good. That's bad. So the number one way, and as I watch the better people play, like you, for example, your recent TikTok where you returned a fumble and ran out of stamina and just snapped someone in half. The biggest play style that I've seen you guys use, you're not juking, you're not spinning, you're not trucking, you're not stiff arming. You're literally just running the opposite direction, or like your runner is like facing the other way and shit.
What I was gonna say is in the TikTok you're referencing, it's a stop and go, really.
Yeah.
And so you're absolutely right. You can do that on conservative carry, and it's I would call it, for anyone not familiar with it, it's probably the equivalent of like a back juke or a stutter in real football, where you're running really fast and you just come to basically a stop for a brief moment and let the person run by and then keep going. Hence the name, stop and go. And that's essentially what happened in the TikTok. Is I ran out of stamina. There was no way I was going to outrun the guy to the end zone because it was a defensive end. And when you run out of stamina, you run at like literally like 0 speed.
Yeah.
You might as well be walking.
Just bear crawling, yeah.
And so his running back was flying in. But I swerved. You still have like some really good lateral, some really good change of direction, even though you're actually not going very fast. And so I moved to the side again at like 0 speed, and then I came to a halt for just a second on a little stop and go, and he basically just made a little circle all around me, and I was able to keep trotting at 0 speed the last 5 yards into the end zone.
Yeah, exactly. And the back jukes, those are totally fine. It's literally when the player will completely like do a 180 and face the opposite direction and then run forward. And I'm like, okay, that's stupid. I fucking hate that shit. And I see people do that all the time where they're like, it's like, okay, they can stop on a dime here, but when I'm trying to make them do it over here, it just doesn't work. It's proof that they don't have to have these big ass semi truck turns to go upfield. But yeah, I always hated that though, where people literally just like the returner will just turn around, like show the guy his ass, and then turn back around and score. And I'm like, yeah, that's just maybe I gotta try that in flag next time. So.
Fortunately, I don't run into that too much, but I think I do know some clips that you're talking about of people running backwards.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm gonna guess happens is that someone who doesn't play the game a ton will see someone facing the wrong way or even running backwards, and they'll take control of a defender and they'll try to dive and make the tackle, and they'll miss. And so they'll click onto the next guy and try to dive and make a tackle again, and they'll miss. And they'll click on the next guy and try to dive, and make a tackle, and miss. And before you know it, they've made half the team dive, and now it's very easy to run for a touchdown when half the team's laying on the ground.
Sure.
So I've seen some clips like that.
Yeah. No, it's not fun.
Next level.
I will continue to play Madden. I will continue to send them my money, but I'll bitch about it along the way because it wouldn't be interesting. If that's not how it went. Do you have anything you want to ask Mr. Goosebert before we move on to some other stuff?
Yeah, no, knowing how messed up the game is and all the bugs and everything in it, I think you might have mentioned something about it earlier. At least that you're aware of it. But have you ever participated in any like franchise tournaments or anything, like even just not professional, but like have you ever done anything like that?
I played and they call it like a CFM, connected franchise mode.
Okay.
And so at the start of Madden 21, there was another small streamer who invited me to be in a CFM. I think it was it was free entry, but the Super Bowl winner actually got like $300 or something, which is pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
I was like, sounds good to me.
Dope.
Can't hurt.
I unfortunately
your pride.
I was on an airplane when they did all the claiming of teams.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to snag the Panthers, which I think in regs was a pretty underrated team. So Teddy Bridgewater sucked at quarterback, but
sure.
But Christian McCaffrey and the receivers were actually it's like one of the best rosters for skill positions in the game. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is obviously a monster, and then you had receivers that were 93, 94, 95 speed.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is only surpassed by the Seahawks and then the Chiefs, of course. And then on defense, you got the fastest cornerback in the game in Dante Jackson. So the Panthers were actually a decent team in the CFM. I lost in the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
To a guy playing with the Packers, which is the best regs team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then also. Back then, I've come a long way since then as a Madden player. A year ago, I was basically running 2 plays. I had a run play and a pass play, both out of the same formation. And
Sure.
I mastered those 2 plays and would just run those. That was my whole offense, was just those 2 plays. Which is fine if you're playing casually. But then
sounds like Bert.
If you can execute that, you can win a lot of Madden games running 2 plays.
Oh yeah.
I guess you can't execute it then, Bert.
Yeah, no.
I pretend. The better players are going to catch on pretty quickly, and if you're only running 1 play, if they literally know where every route is going because you can only run 1 play.
Or perhaps throwing to the same fucking receiver 20, 30 times a game, and how that has absolutely no skill behind it, and just talking about how amazing that player is, and then you switch to a different team, Goose, and there's a different receiver with an X button over their head, and all of a sudden they're leading the fucking league with 1,000 catches a season, and you're giggling to yourself about how good that person is, and rinse and repeat.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill's a tank. That's all I gotta say.
Tyreek is, Julio is, Galladay is. I mean, everybody that is the fucking X button over their head. Bert throws to them.
Well, Tyreek in particular was just broken.
He's
this year,
so
I'm guessing you guys play regs like with just normal NFL teams.
Yep.
So
yeah,
I exclusively played regs up until basically the start of 2021, and so I play Ultimate Team now. And Ultimate Team, I can't go back to regs because Ultimate Team it's so much more balanced.
Okay.
Yeah, just because, especially at this point of the year, everybody's 99 speed, at least in terms of receivers and secondary. Which at first you might say that sounds stupid. That's not realistic. In real football, you've got to account for, you know, some of you guys will be fast, some of you guys will be slow. You can take advantage of mismatches. But the flip side is when you play regs, I'm a Tampa Bay Bucks fan, a true fan, not a bandwagon fan.
Sure.
And I would go against the Chiefs in regs. And remember earlier I was complaining about how on next gen Madden you could basically run a streak straight at like a safety in a deep blue, and you would just run past him anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Tyreek Hill can do that to Bucks safeties in current gen Madden.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
And it got to a point where it felt silly. It felt like, why do I even play this game if like I literally cannot guard Tyreek Hill with a deep safety starting 20 yards back and dropping deep. Tyreek Hill is still going to outrun him
in the end zone. Yeah,
you know, like really, and so it wasn't fun. Whereas in Mutt, because the skill of the players on the field is even, it comes down to the skill of the user to determine the outcome. You know. There's no such thing as an overpowered team, at least at this point of the year. Early in the year, if people want to throw money at the game, they can get a little bit better players. But even then, the way that they release the content, like, and this is what it took me a while to realize, it's not like on day one you can buy a bunch of 99 players, because they slowly, the quality of the players slowly improves over the course of the year. So as long as you're just playing the game consistently, you can keep up a pretty solid team without spending any money at all. You know, the spending money on good players is for the people who are too lazy to play the game, or not good enough to win games.
It's a grind
and make money.
Yeah. Regardless, the only problem I have with Mutt is I get so deathly nervous to play online against other people. And
that's fair.
And when I throw a pick, I literally want to jump through my TV. Like,
same. And I gotta do it with 40 people watching.
I know, seriously. Like, I feel like my family's life is on the line when I play online. Yeah, like Bert and I will be in a franchise together, or we'll be in a franchise with another friend, and we'll just be like, "Hey, use your games. We're just gonna sim those. May the best team win," because I'm not doing this shit. It also feels more laggy online.
I don't know why.
Yeah, like things that don't happen, not online, happen online, kind of thing. So
I can see that.
Yeah, I've already caused my fair share of pain over Madden, and I'm not gonna add to that. If I can avoid it. So, that's what I shoot for. Now, Spruce, do you play, like, or did you play any sports or anything like that, or was it just mainly Madden, or?
So growing up, I played
mainly
baseball.
Madden, mainly football. I don't know what the fuck that came from.
Nice.
I was reading Bert's question. That's why.
Wait, so there's a question: actual sports or sports games?
Yeah, actual sports.
Okay. Yeah. So growing up, I played baseball. For about 11 years, played on a travel team. That
awesome.
Was AAU baseball back in Florida. And then going into high school, I decided I wanted to play football. Did the summer workouts at the high school, tried out, and to this day, I'm 1,000,000% certain that I didn't make the team because of politics, because they only took 10 freshmen to the JV team, and we didn't have a freshman team. They took only 10 freshmen to the JV team. Our school was hideously overcrowded. and almost all the guys had older brothers on the varsity team.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had people tell me who made the team. They said you should have made the team.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't control that. It is what it is.
Sure.
And I also had done track a little bit in middle school, and so when I didn't make football, I decided to join the cross country team because I wanted to do something.
Okay.
And I ended up being pretty good in cross country, and so I did track in the spring, and I ended up being really good in track in the spring. And then when it came around to summer, I had to choose between trying to do football again, to try and make a team where who knows if I'll even play, and I'm at the mercy of a coach to, decide if I play, or to do summer workouts for cross country, something where I was entirely in control of my own success. And so I went with cross country. I think that's one of the coolest things about competitive running. I mean, any running in general, but especially, running is different when you're actually like training for competition. It's a different mindset.
Oh,
it doesn't feel like you're just out there running aimlessly in the heat, wondering what the fuck you're doing with your life,
The fact that you've even considered doing cross country is making me want to kick you out of the Discord call, because I don't like having crazy people in here. But
it's a completely different. I still go for short runs, but it's brutal now. But back in the day, it's such a different mindset, because you can visualize the competition just like you would visualize a football game or a basketball game or anything like that. You can think about what you're working towards. And what's cool about it is your success is directly proportional to how much work you put in. Mm-hmm. 'Cause the harder you train, the faster you'll get. Mm-hmm. And so I stuck with it. And by senior year, I was all state.
Hell yeah,
I had some pretty good times in
some
of those races.
I bet, yeah. That's awesome. They probably don't have too many cross country games for the Xbox, so it's probably
no. But you know what I thought of, as I thought of this genius idea in high school, because I wanted there to be a cross country game. So I was like, what if there's a video game connected to a treadmill, and you could actually
there you go.
race people, virtual people on the screen while you're on the treadmill. I was like, that'd be so fun, right? Mm-hmm. I was a psycho. I was psycho.
No, they had shit like that
for
Wii Fitness. I remember you could literally put the remote in your pocket and you would run around the island.
Oh my God.
That's right.
And they would literally yell at you if you didn't keep a consistent pace. Like if you wanted to this little me would fucking pass you, like, oh, you little cocksucker, you think you're faster than me, and then the remote would start yelling at you for running too hard and shit like that. Yeah, so that's probably about as close as it'll get, but
yeah,
for now, I think probably with VR you might be able to do something, but
probably there are some really advanced treadmills. With
the gyroscopes and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like they do shooters. You put on the VR headset, but then you're kind of, it's like a treadmill, but it's also, it wraps all around you and it kind of straps you in so you don't fall. But you use a little bit of force, and you actually run around with your fake gun and the VR headset on, just so you're actually, controlling your character with your legs rather than just a controller,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Madden will be really fucking fun on those.
Oh my God,
Matt,
how the
smoke
hell
somebody.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Tyreek would be impossible.
Oh my God.
Yeah, if they want the realistic
90 miles
gameplay,
an
they
hour.
just literally need to match the player's speed to your speed, and
Yes.
that would be dope. But one last thing, Spruce Goose, and I know you've been really looking forward to this section of the podcast.
That's right. Oh my God, I forgot.
We have this infamous topic called Booby Time, where we ask the guests to send us pictures of their tas, and we're making a little compilation.
Collage.
Yeah.
This is different than what I heard it was.
I couldn't fucking tell you what it was, dude. You wouldn't have came on.
So what do you do with this collection?
It's just gonna be a profile picture.
It's
It's like when they do all those Rubik's cubes and then you zoom out and it's actually a face. It's just gonna be Bert and I. That's how we're gonna do a face reveal.
Oh, I love
that's
that,
gonna be-
actually.
Yeah.
I like
love
that. Is
it.
cool.
It'll be all of our guest titties. No, so basically, as I said a couple times, is booby time sounds like movie time, and that's what we went with it. And honestly, Goose, I mean, you really kind of enforced that idea because on stream I couldn't tell if you were saying movie or boobies, because yesterday you were like, it really sounded like you're like, if you're talking about boobies, I have something for you, but if you're talking about boobies, I don't know, man. And I was like, huh, this is why we choose that name in the first place.
So all these hub links, I guess I can just delete these. I was about to share.
Yeah.
Save them for later, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to DM Bert those in and privately, you can.
All right, yeah, I don't want these to go to waste. This is good stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so every guest that we had come on, we've asked them to tell us the most fucked up, the most weirdest movie that they've ever seen outside of snuff porn,
for
but
sure.
snuff stuff in general. We're not going to limit just to the adult film stuff there.
Yeah, for
just
sure. Like an
general-
actual movie.
Yeah, like an actual
Right.
movie. We had one guy actually recommend porn, and Bert and I like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. We're here to watch that together.
Yeah, that was a little
Not
saucy.
together.
Yeah. So, and then Bert and I, we're cousins, so we live pretty close, and we watch these movies together. We sit and hold hands and eat popcorn. So, so just imagine that while you're telling us about this fucked up movie that you have, Spruce, and we'll talk about it in the next episode. That's the big thing. We'll kind of do like a little review of it in the next episode, talk about how fucked up it was and how sane you are. So we've had people actually like suggest movies that I'm like, I think this is a Disney movie.
It's like a pretty standard vanilla movie.
Yeah, and then other people, they hit the nail right on the fucking head. So
I had only one movie popped into my mind when you first explained it, and it's a movie that back in college, we didn't watch TV as roommates very often. We were mostly playing video games or watching sports, but every once in a while, it got to just perusing what was on the school cable.
Okay.
And we came across once. I hope you guys haven't heard of it before. I don't know how well known this movie is.
Okay.
It might be well known in the weird movie genre. I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't call it like fucked up. It's a little fucked up, but it's mostly just weird.
He's got me on.
Okay.
The edge
When I
of my
think of
seat
fucked
right now.
up, I think of like gory,
Burton Burger, yeah.
Yeah.
I like this movie. I don't think is. I don't know if I call it super fucked up. It's super strange. It's super weird.
Sure.
It made me wonder why they made this movie. Like, what's the point of this movie?
You're hitting
How did
every
someone think of this
category.
movie?
Hell yeah.
How did people film this movie and take it seriously?
Yeah, I think we're just gonna take that sound bite from you and just play that to like all the guests. That's exactly what we're looking for.
Okay, so as long as you understand that, because I feel weird. Like, this is not a movie that I would tell someone like, hey, you should go watch this movie, unless they were specifically asking
for
this,
movie time.
Which we are.
Yeah,
for movie
time.
So hopefully you haven't heard this movie before. If you have, I'll have to figure out something else.
Sure.
The movie is called Rubber. Have you seen this?
Nope.
Okay, can I read you the one sentence IMDb description? Or do you want to go in knowing nothing?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
You can read it.
And this is the movie, and again, we found it in college, and then we all just sat around and watched it, and all just kind of went, we just went like, what are we watching? Like, we literally don't know what we're watching. It's from 2010. The genre is comedy, fantasy, and horror.
Okay, just like birds porn.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It says, a homicidal car tire, discovering it has destructive psionic power, sets its sights on a desert town once a mysterious woman becomes its obsession.
Beautiful. So I haven't seen it. I have heard of it though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think I started watching it when I was 12 and got scared and stopped watching it. So
you got scared?
Dude, you have no idea the kind of shit that scared me when I was a kid. Like a fucking little Fairly Odd Parents Game Boy game would scare me when I was little.
I gotcha.
I'm such a bitch, but I've never sat down and watched it, and this was perfect.
So that's my recommendation. I hope it fits into booby time. Again, you're not going to come away being like this was a good movie. You're going to come away being like, what the fuck was that?
All right.
Yeah, no, we some of the suggestions that we've had are literally titled with words that we can't say. Like,
Oh goodness.
Like,
goodness.
we can't say it on
Yeah.
Burton Burger. Like, we had this one guy from another podcast come on. He's like in his 50s, and he suggested this, and he gave us the normal title for it, and then as soon as we Googled it, the real title came up. So,
It was bad.
yeah. So, and that one was about these people coming to Earth, getting rid of all the women. It was like a 20-minute black and white movie, and
Oh Jesus.
we watched it. Yeah. So
That's tough.
you're not going to
What's-
have like the worst plot, I don't think, even if it is about a fucking tire that rolls around and explodes people's heads and shit.
Okay, so you're a little bit familiar.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why it blows my mind so much is that it's made with like the quality of, I won't say a big budget movie, but like
Yeah.
the quality of a real movie. This was not that 20-minute movie. I'm willing to bet had some pretty low budget vibes to it.
Oh, boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No idea. You have no idea.
And that's, I think, what just gets me up this movie Rubber is that it doesn't have necessarily low budget vibes. Like it's got like the cinematography, if I remember correctly, it was like professionally done. Like
Pretty good, yeah.
so like the people in here, you know, if you go through the actors list, like I click on the main guy and you go to his known for, he's known for, one of his movies is some movie with Denzel Washington in it.
Okay.
And another
There
movie
you
is
go.
Sean Penn. So it's like they're not A-list actors or even B-list actors, but they are actors who have had small roles in movies with A-listers
Mhm.
versus
Yeah.
fucking, you know, some random college film students get a camera and make a weird ass 20-minute movie.
Yeah, versus Space Movie 1992. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
And-
that's
and-
what always blows my mind about this movie Rubber.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we'll definitely say that. Some of your fans and stuff were saying Human Centipede and stuff. I'm like, no, don't do that.
Oh my gosh.
We'll get her eventually.
That
I
would be
know we
bad.
will.
that
Uh-huh.
would probably also fit the definition of truly most fucked up movie.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that to you guys. You know, I think this is a little more stomachable.
Sure.
Appreciate
Well, what a
it.
kind soul. Some asshole's going to suggest it eventually.
Oh yeah.
But no, I mean, the way he was describing it, Bert, I was like, oh, it's going to be Tusk. It is. It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be. But I was
Yeah,
thinking,
that one
like,
was bad.
what fucking movies would be on college cable? Like, that's what was going through my mind. I'm like, because Hannibal, what was that one? What was
Cannibal
Holocaust. Yeah, that one. That's not going to be on fucking college cable.
That one is-
Yeah.
It had to be like the college cable probably had like IFC or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't
No,
no
and-
fucking Buffalo Bills acid bath salt adventure, whatever we had to
Adventure,
watch.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, so we'll check it out. Bert will come over sometime and we'll watch some Rubber together.
All right. You
Some
have to
good
stop
old
by the
Rubber.
Twitch chat and let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, dude, we
Mhm,
definitely will. We'll keep you posted on what happens.
Absolutely.
Lol. But yeah, no, so glad that you were able to participate in booby time. I know that was something that was on the back of your mind. You'd lay on bed and stare up at the ceiling, just like, what the fuck, dude?
It was way better than I expected. I was worried. Yeah, at the beginning you talked about, oh, you know, got to be careful. You know, I have a job, don't want to get fired. I was like, I really hope this isn't something that I gotta make sure I keep from my Delta coworkers.
yeah.
Yeah, make sure
Not
they never come
necessarily.
across Burton Burger.
Oh, man.
Yes, certainly, dude. But anyways, that's about all the time that we got for this episode. Spruce Goose, I mean, it's been an absolute blast to have you come on and just completely bitch about Madden and talk about
Oh, yeah.
tires.
Dude, fuck that game. Fuck Madden,
Oh,
dude.
Yeah, what a piece of shit game. Goose, do you want to shout out all your shit to everybody?
I guess so. I am SpruceGooseTV on all major social media platforms. That's, you know, if you don't know how to spell it, SpruceGoose. TV. Hopefully everyone knows how to spell Spruce Goose, but you never know.
It's the TV part that gets me. Yeah.
But I'd say definitely consider checking out the Twitch. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then some surprise streams on the weekends as well. And then definitely check out the YouTube. I try to post there at least once or twice a week with Madden tips or gameplay highlights, or sometimes Madden is trash. I'm really overdue for another one of those.
Sometimes Madden is trash.
And then of course the TikTok as well. Again, it's SpruceGooseTV on all of them. I don't really use Instagram and Twitter very much. I need to get better about that. But I can only keep up with so much social media during the day.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So check out all of his shit. We'll make sure that all of your links are in the description down below. And when I say check out the guest shit, guys, I don't mean that their stuff is shit. People seem to get confused by that. I'm like,
but it is.
But a good kind of shit, though.
Except for the rare chance.
Yeah. Check out their stuff, I guess, for you lighthearted bitches in the audience. So, other than that, yeah, dude, it's been a blast having you on. Guys, this is the Burt and Burger podcast. We're just trying to bring a little bit of the family element to the podcast world. And again, it's just comedy. Calm down. Burt, where can they find us at, man?
Yes. We have full episodes up on YouTube and Spotify, as well as highlight clips on Twitter and TikTok, with some extra highlights throughout the week on TikTok and the county videos, as always.
Well, yeah, Goose, wait till you see the shit that we post on TikTok to try to get people to like us. It's really pathetic. We're not proud of it.
Hey, that's what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, that's what we gotta do. Anyways, guys, thank you so much again, Spruce Goose. Thank you so much for coming on.
It was a pleasure, man.
The podcast, man. All right, guys.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's all we got for you. Make sure you check out Spruce Goose, and we will see you all in the next pod episode. Take care, everybody.
Peace.